I was recently reminded of a very powerful principle describing 4 types of touch that was originally pioneered by the amazing sex educator Betty Martin. And all these kinds of touch are absolutely essential to have a well-rounded, fulfilling, and deeply orgasmic experience with your lover. So, if you'd like to know more and to blissfully surprise your partner in the bedroom tonight, make sure to keep watching. My name is Helena Nista and I make videos that help you have the best sex of your life. And today we're exploring 4 powerful types of sensual and erotic touch. When I originally learned about these 4 types of touch many years ago, I was absolutely mind blown because it turned out that out of the 4, I was only using 2 when I was in bed with my different partners and lovers over the years. And that realization was pretty shocking to me because it simply never before occurred to me to use the other 2 types of touch. And that fact alone was contributing to a lot of frustration that I was experiencing in my sex life back then. So to learn about the 2 remaining types of touch felt hugely informative and helpful in creating sexual experiences that felt much more blissful, pleasurable, and satisfying to both of us. Because without them, there was always just something important missing there. But I just couldn't quite put my finger on it. So I hope that by now you're curious enough and ready to learn what the 4 different types of touch are. But before I tell you all about them, there is one more thing I need to mention, and that is consent. All these types of touch need to always happen with consent from both partners. So you'll need to check in both with yourself and with your partner before you proceed with any of these touch techniques. This is important, and without it, you will not be able to reap the benefits of this knowledge and these practices. So, are you ready? Let's go. The first type of touch is the giving touch. And as the name implies, your intention here will be to offer pleasure and satisfaction to your partner. So touching your partner in this way is basically like giving them a gift that is purely for them. And even though you might be enjoying yourself and enjoying performing this kind of touch on your partner, your intention and your concern here is that they enjoy it, is that this is for them and that this is what they want and desire. And typically for most couples, an example of a giving touch is giving your partner oral sex. This kind of erotic activity is usually performed as a gift with an intention to pleasure, arouse, and satisfy the other person. However, the intention is the key word here, because if you are giving oral sex to your partner, but really it's for you because that's what you want, because you enjoy putting your face between their legs and licking, kissing, and sucking their genitals, then you're no longer giving. So please remember that just because I quoted oral sex as an example, as a potential example of a giving touch, that doesn't mean that oral sex will always consist of giving. Look at your intention here, look at what you are desiring to achieve here. And also don't make assumptions that just because you think that you are giving something to your partner that they should enjoy or that they should want, that this necessarily will be what they want. If you're going to be pushing oral sex on your partner because this is for you, honey, while your partner isn't really that keen, isn't in the mood, or would prefer something different, then again, you are no longer giving. So a good question to ask your partner here before you begin the giving touch is, how can I touch you for your pleasure, for your delight, for your fulfillment, for your benefit? The second type of touch is the receiving touch. And this is where you're not the one performing the touching, but your partner is. However, your intention here is to receive that touch. So it's meant to be for your pleasure and your satisfaction. This is typically when you get to just kind of kick back and relax and just enjoy the action or the touch being done to you. So as you can probably guess by now, in this dynamic, your partner will be doing the giving touch so that you can be in the receiving touch. And a good question or a request to make if you want to be in this kind of touch, in the receiving touch, is to say, could you please touch me this way for my benefit or for my pleasure, or I would like you to touch me this way so that I can enjoy as a receiver here. The third type of touch is the taking touch. So here you're the one performing the action and doing the touching. However, the benefit is for you. So this is when you're touching your partner, but you're doing it for your pleasure, for your satisfaction, because you want to. And a typical example of a taking touch is when a male partner is touching the woman's breasts. Women's breasts have this kind of amazing quality to be sort of mesmerizing and really kind of drawing the attention and the touch and the hands of the male partner. Men love touching breasts, and there is nothing wrong with that, as long as the woman, the owner of the said breasts, is consenting to it. I have already spoken about consent before in this video, but I do want to bring it back here again, because this is the one kind of touch, the taking touch, that can be a little bit tricky when it comes to consent. And what I mean by that is, just because you want to touch your partner's breasts or anywhere else on her body for your pleasure and for your benefit, doesn't mean that she necessarily needs to agree to it. Always remember that if you touch your partner's body without consent, that consists rape and abuse. But as long as the consent is there, this can be the most amazing and beautiful experience. Because when you think about it, it is a part, this taking touch is a part of a wonderful, ecstatic sexual experience. When your partner is desiring to touch you in a particular way, or to touch a particular part of your body in some kind of a way, that can be deeply arousing and amazing. I love to see the desire in my partner's eyes and in his body being drawn to my breasts or whatever other body part he is desiring to touch. And I will gladly allow him to touch my body and touch my breasts, unless that's not okay with me for some kind of a reason. Maybe I'm sore, maybe my breasts are very tender, or whatever the situation is. I might be a no sometimes, which I will express to him, but in majority of cases I do find it really hot to see the desire in my partner for my body, for my breast, for kind of taking touch from me for his benefit and his pleasure. So this taking touch with consent can be super sexy. And a good question to ask your partner in this situation is, can I touch you this way for my benefit and for my pleasure? And the fourth final type of touch is allowing. In the allowing kind of touch, you're not the one performing the action and performing the touch, your partner is. However, they are doing this for their benefit and for their pleasure. So you're allowing them to touch you for their satisfaction. So here again, the dynamic is typically that one partner is taking, touching for their own pleasure, while the other partner is allowing the other person to touch them for their benefit. So when you are in the allowing type of touch, you are sort of giving your body to your partner to do as they please and to enjoy for themselves. And it's again absolutely okay if you enjoy that at the same time. That would be much better than you not enjoying it, because in that case you probably won't even consent to that kind of touch. But what makes this touch an allowing kind of touch is the intention. You are allowing your partner to touch you for their pleasure and their benefit. So with the example of the breasts being touched, if I see that my partner really wants and desires to touch my breasts, to suck them, to enjoy them in whatever ways, I will be in this allowing touch if I say, hello honey, yes please, do it, they here, they yours. And I'm fairly sure that I will enjoy it because my partner knows how to touch my breasts. But everything comes down here with these four types of touch to intention. My intention is to allow my partner to use my body for their pleasure. So in order to be in this kind of allowing touch experience, a good question to ask your partner is, how would you like to touch me for your pleasure or for your benefit? So now that you know the four powerful types of touch, I do invite you to have a little bit of a reflection around your own sex life and your own sexual experiences. How many of these kinds of touch are you actually experiencing and doing or having done to you during sex. And if you find that every time you're in the bedroom with your sweetheart, you actually find yourself performing or experiencing every single of these 4 types of touch, amazing. It sounds like you're having really well-rounded, wholesome, blissful, amazing sexual experiences. But as I mentioned to you before, when I first learned about this concept many years ago, I realized that I was always either giving or allowing. My focus was always either on doing things to my partner in order to give him pleasure, or on allowing him to do whatever he wanted to me so that he was satisfied. I was never receiving and I was never taking for my pleasure and satisfaction. And that's what was so troubling to me, because this made me realize that I was hugely missing out on something very important in my sex life. Because even if my lover back then was attempting or trying to give me pleasure, I wouldn't be able to receive it. That wasn't automatically putting me in the receiving kind of experience. I was still just allowing, because I basically didn't know how to receive or how to take for my pleasure. So even if he was trying to give me pleasure, which would be for my benefit, I was still just in the allowing space, which is for his benefit. So then nobody was really benefiting from that kind of experience. And this is why it is so important to build awareness around what are you actually doing during sex. Are you engaging in all these 4 different types of touch, or are you missing out on 1 or 2 or 3? And so you need to consciously bring them into your sexual and erotic experiences. And if you'd like to learn more about this fascinating concept, please make sure to check out my book, Legendary Lover: 6 Essential Steps to Having Great Sex, because I do speak about these different types of touch and a lot more different techniques of being fantastic lovers to each other in my book, and you find the link in the description bar below. And now that you know all the necessary basics of these 4 different types of touch, make sure to watch this video next.